Dave Becker. I taught violin and viola at the Aber Suzuki Center for 20 years, from 1994 to 2014. And over the course of that 20 years, I worked with dozens, actually, I guess hundreds of students, although I didn't teach all of them individually, but as an accompanist in the program, I accompanied a lot of students, and I had an orchestra for 15 years, so I had about 30 students in that over that run of time, and then maintained a studio of between 30 and 35 students as well for 20 years. And I've been asked to share a story of a student in the program that I worked with. He started when he was 5 years old. He had two very high-powered professional parents who both worked at the Marshfield Clinic. And I think that the parents were a little surprised initially when they started lessons to realize that they had quite a big commitment from themselves in terms of completing the Suzuki triangle and working with their child on a daily basis. I'm recalling now that the mother used to refer to their version of being involved in the Suzuki program as Suzuki Light, because they weren't able to participate maybe quite as fully as they felt they could or should have participated. But something obviously worked, because the child started at the age of 5. He continued lessons until he graduated from high school. And of course, when he got into middle school and high school, there were scheduling conflicts and hassles with interest in sports. He was big into basketball and soccer, and so we had to schedule lessons and recitals and things like that around his commitment to other things. But he made steady progress throughout his years of work, and I recall that this particular student had a real challenge developing a nice vibrato on the instrument. He worked on it for years, and I think he had almost given up, and then suddenly one day it just clicked, and he actually developed one of the most beautiful hand vibratos I have ever had a student develop in studying with me. And because of that, he suddenly had a tone that he was really proud of. And although he may not have been, by his own admission, in fact, in his senior recital statement, the most proficient technical violinist, he really felt that he had something special in terms of the tone that he produced on the instrument and the music he could make. Sort of developed his identity on the violin with this beautiful sound that he started producing, and actually got to the point where in his, I think it was his sophomore or junior year, where I suggested, you know, Al, maybe you should try out for the Wisconsin High School Honors Orchestra. I think you could do it, you know. And so we worked really hard, and he actually ended up getting into the High School Honors Orchestra. So even Suzuki Light, as they say, can produce a successful student in terms of how they compare with other students who've been studying. He did, as I mentioned before, actually did do a senior recital, I think, of which he was very proud. And then he went off to college, and I unfortunately can't remember the name of the college that he's at right now in California, but immediately got into the school orchestra there, and last year they did Beethoven's Ninth and some other major programs, and he didn't feel swamped. He felt like he could do it, you know. So I think that through all of the hard work that he put in, he has basically given himself a gift of a lifetime with his music making. This student had a younger brother, and it was not at all uncommon for the entire family, both parents and both boys, to be at a lesson. The younger brother, by the way, began studying with me too when he was about 5 years old. I think it actually became a fairly central part of their family in a way. I used to teach. I started teaching them in Marshfield when I was part of our outreach program, and I know that they were kind of wondering if they really would even have time to come over here for lessons when I began teaching exclusively at the Aber Suzuki Center here in Stevens Point. But actually, they kind of made it a family outing, and they would try to come early and have a supper together, and then come to the lessons, and you know, so it became a very big part of their lives. And then, just as a little follow-up on this, his younger brother, who's also a violinist and also learning viola now too, is now in, I believe, 8th grade, and I suggested last year, in my final year of teaching him, that maybe he should try out for the middle school honors orchestra, which he did do, and he got in. So both boys, I think, are on a really good path to make music a lifetime joy and endeavor.